You and I both know business owners in around the $10 million to $40 million range. I think they have this misconception that if they just build this cool SaaS product and then like take that one little picture of them and the team and the
Right.
inauguration post, like all the business is going to flood in. What are you seeing in real world with your clients? What are they misunderstanding about actually generating this business for themselves?
Right. No, I see that all the time. People think that they're just gonna show up on LinkedIn, post a picture, and that because they have the skills, that everyone automatically knows that they have the skills and that the product or service is going to take off
Yeah.
immediately. But unfortunately, we live in the tech era and things have changed where now you don't even necessarily need the best skills or the most experience. If you have the most
Yeah.
visibility, you're gonna outperform the person that maybe even has the better skills but doesn't have the
Yeah.
visibility.
How bad
So we're
how bad do you think that's gotten? Like on some level, people could argue, well, we've never been in a world where if you build it, they will come. But I think maybe even 20 or 30 years ago, you could put yourself in the phone book. In the US, they had this big book of yellow pages. You could put your name in there. You could
yes,
run
I
like
remember
a
that.
billboard. I just don't even see that stuff working anymore. So how bad has it gotten? And
Mhm.
if these owners want to get their clients at that 5,000 to 100,000 a year annualized contract value, like what's necessary for them nowadays to generate the business?
So that's a very interesting point that you made there. And that's actually where I came from. So I come from a business branding, I come from the advertising
Oh,
industry,
cool.
worked in the advertising industry for seven
Yeah.
years. And in real life, I saw the shift
Yeah.
happening where business brands were not performing as well as they used to. And then they started getting influencers involved. But then people started trusting influencers less because, brand deals. This person isn't even maybe using this product
Yes.
that they're trying to sell to
Do you remember
people.
that embarrassing story?
And
Sorry to
then,
cut you off, but it was some hip hop
no,
star. She was like, she was sponsoring a BlackBerry or some other phone brand, but then everyone noticed on Twitter that she was posting from an iPhone, and they're like, "Oh, you guys are so full of it, like influencers are just getting paid."
yeah, exactly, exactly. And people started catching on
Yeah.
to that. So then we saw that very visible shift to personal
Yeah.
branding, where the founder, it's called founder-led
Yeah.
brands, where the founder steps forward and they show behind the scenes. They show, maybe this product that isn't even on the shelves yet, that's um, busy, in
Yeah.
development. And the great thing about this is it kind of gives the consumer, um, it makes them feel like they're part of the journey
Yes.
where they get to choose the flavors or the
Yeah.
colors or it's it builds a lot of brand
Yeah.
loyalty.
Let's
It's a great
let's go
I
way
think this is a
back and
great
see.
thing.
I don't want to age you, but do you remember
Yes.
Richard Branson from Virgin? Yeah, he did
Yes,
so,
yes.
he
Love
became
him.
the face of a brand. And then I just remember growing up later, it's like, there's a Virgin Soda, there's a Virgin Records, like who, I didn't even know what the brands were. I just knew Richard Branson. All right. Steve Jobs from Apple. Do you remember all his stage? Okay.
Yes.
I think why I'm bringing that up is because, and first off, to be clear, I'm a revenue operations specialist. I'm an operational support critical member for company leaders that are going to market. So I don't consider myself a marketer, but I do consider myself a custodian of your quote to cash process. And I think a lot of business owners forget that like the top left quadrant of quote to cash is generate leads. Like to get a quote to a customer, you have to generate awareness first. My point about Steve Jobs is you can look back at these iconic figures from the 80s even. We know it works. But even today, I know of a 40, I guess they're around $40 million. Dollars. They're a tech firm. The CEO's there and he just posts these square little tiles with like their logo and some catchphrase that they built in Canva. So why don't you think people are realizing that we want more than a brand? We don't want a faceless brand. We want to see the person behind it.
I think it's the younger generations have caught on, but I feel the older generations, they're maybe confusing influencer brands with
Okay.
founder-led brands. Where when you look at an influencer brand, and I hear this all the time, Michelle, I want to start a personal brand. I want to start promoting my product or my service, but I don't want to be an influencer. I don't want to post selfies every day. And that is not what a founder-led brand
Okay, unpack
is.
that for me.
It's two very different
I'll
things.
give you two, let me give
Right.
you two archetypes. One of them is a CFO of a $120 million company, and she's in her mid 50s, looks amazing, wears nice business professional all day. They want to sell the company, and so between her and the CEO,
Hmm.
she could be out there as a personal brand. Uh, I think that her pushback would be, "Oh, Michelle, I don't want to be an Instagram model. I don't
I
want
want
to
to be.
compete
Sorry.
with bikinis." Okay, so that's archetype number one. And then the other one is like the me bucket, It's like mid 40s, early 50s, white male, CEO, CRO at a company. But these contracts are worth $100,000 a year. They look at it and they say, "Oh, we're not about TikTok, or we're better than whatever." So help them understand the difference, because I truly don't think that they get it. We're not talking about dancing on
Right.
TikTok. We're talking about something different. What is that?
I think, yeah, the biggest difference, and this is the best example I can give. The other day I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw a surgeon busy doing a TikTok dance. Like there was a patient on the table and he was holding his
That's
scalpel and he was
terrifying.
doing this
Wait a
little
second.
TikTok dance. And I was thinking, the surgeon, he's doing the total opposite what he should be doing because instead, he might be getting a lot of eyeballs on his page and he might be
Yes.
going viral, but not for the right,
That's right.
not for
That's
the
right.
right
Don't go to
reasons.
that surgeon. Like, share the
And
post. Don't go
don't
to
go to
that
that
one. Yeah.
surgeon. Do not go to that surgeon. And I think that is the biggest thing where a founder brand, it's all about building authority and building trust with your audience. And it's not about having all of the eyes
Yeah.
on you. So it's not about creating all of those emotional ups and downs and, you know, uh, dancing with scalpels and doing all these crazy things. It's more about knowing who your audience
Yes.
is and then positioning yourself in a way that is going to appeal to that audience
Okay, so
alone. You
maybe
want the right eyeballs on
could
you.
you try then, just it where you don't have to get super detailed, but just as a contrast,
Yeah.
we had mid 40s white male leads a company. There was and then the mid 50s CFO female.
See.
What's a post that might break that limiting belief for them that either of them could do, that's relevant, but it's worth posting,
Right.
and it could lead toward more business? Because, and also my point is, it's not just like buy our company now. It's there's got to be some organic level to it.
Yes, right. No, definitely. Definitely. So in personal branding, there's two different parts of it that is very important to the brand. You get more of the storytelling aspect. So we're showing behind the scenes, we are showing the team, we are, sh like giving them a little bit of the personal side of things. It even goes as far as showing things that you value, such as maybe it's a family picture or you're on a holiday. You want to really like humanize yourself. And then on the other side of things, we have the authority content. So we don't just want people to like us, we also want to be posting about finance if you're a CFO. You want to be posting about like finance industry trends, things that your target audience would be interested in, but that would also they would see it and they would know that you know what you're talking about. And yeah, it's now they like you
Yes.
because they can relate to the stories you're
Yeah.
telling, but they also see you as an authority
Yeah, I've
figure.
used this CFO as an example before because I have a lot of admiration for her, and I think that sometimes she comes off robotic, right? Like she's so good at the finance
Yes.
side that it's just
Hmm.
like, oh dang, Jen's gonna work till 10 p.m. with like a glass of wine, and we're gonna come back
Right.
and the all data rails is fully loaded in the system. And I think sometimes I thought if she just showed herself maybe with the coffee in the morning, or like there's a book that she actually likes reading that's not like 2026
Yes,
referendum on finances. I feel like it brings in that human side to her. So not only is she a tremendous performer, but then it's like, oh,
exactly.
wow, I have stuff in common with Jen. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Tell us real quick, give the audience an intro, who you are, who you like to serve, and how you like to serve them. And then let's see if we can kind of dive deep into what these founders can do to generate more sales for their businesses today, even.
Yes. So we touched on it briefly a little bit earlier, but I come from an advertising background. I was an art director working on some of the biggest companies in South Africa, creating campaigns for them. And it was amazing while I was in it, and I learned a lot, got a lot of industry trends and industry knowledge that way. But in real time, I was seeing the shift into personal branding. And I found myself, dabbling in it a little bit myself, started building my own personal brand. And within 3 weeks, and a global publication
Oh,
reached
wow.
out, they published my
Wow.
story. And yeah, because I started my agency while I had a nine to five. And they reached out to me because they saw my LinkedIn profile and they liked the type of content I was posting, published a story about me, and I started getting my first
That's
clients
so
that
good.
way.
I
So,
think PR
right,
is
I
still
saw the
very much alive. The
power.
press is still very much alive. I think so.
Exactly. And I saw the power of it, and the stronger the brand got, the more opportunities was finding me. And I kind of went down a little bit of a deep dive and I studied the best of the best and got familiar with it, bought courses, nerded out a little bit on personal branding. And then I had other people reaching out to me. Oh, Michelle, like I see you're doing this thing. Can you help me with my LinkedIn profile? Can you help me build my personal brand? Then I saw there was a demand. So now, not only did I have the skills, I also saw that there was a massive demand. And that's where my agency, Vision 27,
Nice.
started. We work with founders and we build their personal brands on LinkedIn and position them as authorities in their space. So the right opportunities and the right clients start
That's
finding
great.
them. Because at the end of the day, people want to
For
buy your
sure.
products. People want to support your
Yeah.
company. But if they don't know about you, then you're shooting in the
Yeah, I think
dark.
people talk about there's been a lot of names for like this is the information age or the attention economy. I really do think it's like a trust and
Mhm.
rapport thing where because there's so much noise out there, it's harder to establish trust and rapport. So people do want to buy things. They just want to feel a level of knowingness and comfort and certainty before they go into that. Um, I had a question before we move on. Are there still? So you're in South Africa? Is that what I heard?
I'm in Cape
Okay.
Town.
And are they still running radio ads? Like is that still a thing on like some public broadcast or something?
It is still a thing. We still have like very popular radio stations on the side. But again, I feel the younger generations have kind of shifted onto
Yes,
podcasts more. And we have, like Spotify and
100%.
podcasts where
So
we don't want to hear the ads
I
anymore.
asked that because this is actually, this is just a little mini flex office in a co working space. Um,
Wow.
And in that training room one day, there was a bunch of radio advertisers, and they were pitching to all the small businesses that use this co-working space, right? And they were
Uh,
talking about these big names that were spending $500,000 plus a year on radio ads. And the guy said a line that made me want to like vomit a little bit. He said, and if they're that big, they can't be wrong, right? And just instantly, I was like, no, 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 no. They're so wrong. Even if
yes.
you went pay per click with the same $500,000, you would get better
Yes.
results. But I think what people, I think, and I don't sell LinkedIn coaching. It's very interesting for me to be in the revenue operations space, and I have had some wonderful names in the personal branding space on the show. Nicolette Joxa, Mandy McEwen. Yeah,
Oh,
thrilled to
wow.
have you on also. Yeah, Nicolette published Tuesday. Great episode. If you should see the clips on LinkedIn already.
I'll go take a look.
But I want people to understand that I believe that your business needs it so much that I continue to bring these guests on because I'm
Yeah.
just watching. I had a investment banker on yesterday. Uh, Million. He called himself. He's doing 8-figure transactions, right? So 6 is million, 7 is double
Whoa.
million. Yeah.
Massive.
Okay. And then I went on his LinkedIn and he's got 8,000 followers and he's just doing little square tiles that are coming from his company page. And I sort of said at the end, I was like,
Hmm.
hey, buddy, LinkedIn's really doing good for business right now. He's like, oh, yeah, I max out on my connection requests every week. And I was like, okay. I don't sell LinkedIn. I'm not here to coach you on it. Like I get paid very well to do revenue operations. He thinks he has it figured out. And so I closed that conversation, but I just knew like, no, they want to see you and there's a lot of uncertainty. Yes, they
Humanize.
just want to hear you speaking about what you do and then see you
Right.
putting on your watch and getting a coffee. So anyway, I'm impressing upon that because I'm somehow have anxiety that people be like, "Oh, Chad's in the LinkedIn influence space." Well, not really. I'm in the make you guys money space.
You just see the power of
Yes.
it.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so first off, I wanted the
Yeah.
anecdote about like, please don't listen to these people like, oh, if big companies are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on radio or traditional media, it must be working, right? No, that's just old marketers that have not caught up. But on
Yeah.
your side, maybe help us understand some of the results that you've seen. You don't have to give names or be super specific, but has anyone started with you and then just been like, oh, Michelle, I had no idea. Like, what has that looked like for them 90 days later or
Yes.
6 months later, just so people understand why this is so important?
Yes. Well, one, I can give so many examples.
Go as
trying to
deep as you
think
want.
which one
Yeah.
I'm going to give. But one that really stands out to me, I had a coaching client, and we had my coaching sessions. We have 3 calls as part of a package, and we had the first call with him. He posted the next day, and his post instantly went viral, got 80,000 impressions. So just to like tell the people what impressions are if
Yeah,
they don't
sure.
understand, impressions are the amount of people that have seen your post. So 80,000
Yeah.
people that now, has read his post, and we always make sure to have a call to action at the end. So it tells the people who you are, what you do, what you stand for, and how much would companies have to
Yeah.
pay to get 80,000 eyes on one of their
Yeah, I mean,
adverts?
at minimum,
The
50, yeah, it's a lot of money. It's in the thousands at
it's
least.
I think the powerful thing about LinkedIn is less than 1% of people actually post. The
That's
rest
right.
of the people are all
Yeah.
consuming. And there's over 1 billion active users on the platform. So if you can position yourself correctly and you're posting storytelling content, authority content, you have a massive opportunity to stand out on a platform where you have all the decision makers. I mean, if you think of a platform like
Yeah.
Instagram, you're competing with
That's right.
entertainment
That's a good point.
content.
I never thought of it that way.
Um,
I thought we were just competing with
yeah.
like wildly attractive influencers, but you're right. It's a whole different mindset. You're there for entertainment. Yeah.
You're there for entertainment. You're not looking to
Right.
buy. But also, if you look at the type of person on Instagram versus the type of person on LinkedIn, you have all the decision makers
Yes.
and you have direct access to these decision makers. You can slide into the
Yeah.
DMs, send them messages. You can, your posts are on their feed
Yeah.
every morning. So while the CEO from this massive company is busy having his coffee in the
Yes.
morning, he's busy reading your
Yeah,
post.
and I think people
That
don't
that's
believe that,
massive.
but they really are. I know my I guess I started taking LinkedIn seriously maybe 3 weeks ago. I've shared this a couple times now. I don't think it's wildly impressive, but in 3 weeks, my following has doubled. I've recorded 20 podcasts in the last month, like breakneck speed. I had 7 this week alone. And these are giant names on LinkedIn at this point, and they're coming into my DMs. Actually, I don't want to name this
Right.
next name because I'm very excited for him. He owns a big company, and he saw the Nikki podcast, the Nicolette one, slid into my DMs. But my point is, everything turned into inbound for me in a way that I've never seen before. And I still, if I see a very If I see a CRO or CFO that I'm impressed by, I go right into their DMs with a quick little sentence. Hey, do you want to do a podcast on? And
Exactly.
it gets opened and responded to. It's So anyway, I want to ask you about the post that you just mentioned. So the guy got 80,000 impressions,
Yes.
right? Okay.
80,000
Was he like
impressions.
in the best shape of his life, like Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise?
I mean, he's an attractive guy, but not,
Okay.
supermodel. And the post didn't even have a picture of him
All
in
right,
in the
even better. So he
post.
wasn't like
So
standing.
it wasn't even
He wasn't
about
standing in a
he
G
wasn't even in the
wagon.
post.
He wasn't. He wasn't on the top of the Eiffel Tower doing a weird dance, right? Like just. So what do you think?
Just average
That's great.
guy.
See, we all have hope. What do you think? What about that post? Maybe do you think got it that many impressions so fast?
Right. So your storytelling posts, we call that top of funnel content, and we want to tell it in such a way that it touches people emotionally. And with that post specifically, it was a very personal story to him, and a lot of people could relate. So they read this piece and they couldn't just scroll past. Like they felt they had to leave a comment or leave, their like of support, their show of appreciation. And yeah, immediately like his following increased. He had people share the post, he had people comment on the post, and that is
Yeah.
massive. It's
Here's another thing about because I guess what I'm trying to move around is the pushback that would say, okay, well, he just got impressions, but now go back to you're a sales leader and you're about to send a quote out or even a warm pitch. Well, all of a sudden this person says like, "Oh, hey, I saw your post the other day," or "I remember your face." And I get this all the time. I know it sounds
right.
weird, but people walk up to me and say, "Hey, I love your content." And I'm like, "That's weird. I've never even seen you on the content."
Yes.
So it's like
Yes.
it also just greased the wheels, so that when you go to have that conversation finally, you've got a foot halfway in the door, and I think people don't appreciate that part either. So, yeah. So what else
Yes.
then? How else do you try to impress upon people the benefits of kind of getting off the fence and moving
Yes.
into sharing their stories?
Yes. So, a very good example that I can give you is, and this was when my personal brand wasn't even half as big as it is today. But I went to one of my very first networking events after I started my agency, and I walked in through the door, and the first person I saw came up to me and he's like, "Oh, Michelle, Vision
Love
27."
it.
And I'm like, "Do I know you? Do I know you?" And he's like, "No, but I follow you on LinkedIn
Love
and I've
it.
been following your posts." And he actually started recalling some of
Wow.
the posts I was
I love that
posting.
he connected you with
And
your brand
turns out,
name also. It wasn't just Michelle influencer, Michelle at Vision
yes.
27. That's so good.
And he knew exactly like what I was doing, building personal brands for people. And he actually turned out to be the host of the networking event I was at. So he then, because he felt like he already knew me on a personal
Yes.
level, even though I've never met this person before. So he was actually taking me around and introducing me to some of the other people at the
So
event,
good.
some of the other massive
Yeah.
CEOs who I probably wouldn't even,
That's right.
have had access to prior to him introducing me to these people. So that is the beautiful thing about a personal brand. It makes people feel like they already know you and trust you, even though you've never
Yeah.
even met this person in your
That's so
life.
good. Okay, so let's see then. I want to pivot into maybe some actionable tips for the audience, but is there anything else you wanted to cover that you think
Yes.
we didn't cover about why to do this or what the impact is, or maybe even something else that you offer that we haven't touched on that's important?
Yes. So there's actually three parts of a personal brand. You have your positioning, so that's your profile setup, which I always call it's like your shop. So if your client or potential client lands on your profile, they have to immediately know who you are and what you do. And then you have the content, but then you also have the inbound sales part of LinkedIn, which, and this is, I'm about to expose a
Okay.
lot of the LinkedIn
Yeah, yeah.
gurus because a lot of the LinkedIn gurus tell you that you're going to be posting and very quickly you're going to be having inbound
Okay.
leads. But when it comes to LinkedIn, if you just started your profile, you have to actually be, reaching out
Yeah.
to a lot of
Okay,
people
then
as
unpack
well.
that some because and I don't want to get too far ahead, so you could back it up. But you said there's an inbound sales element, and what did you mean by that? Did you mean
Definitely.
that you need to sell to the person reaching out to you, or that there's still some effort required because you're going to have to do some outbound on your part?
Right. So I actually had someone that wanted to sign with my agency just a week ago, and he wanted me to guarantee that within the first month of working together, that he would have 5 inbound clients reaching out to him,
Okay.
scheduling calls with
Okay.
him. And I couldn't make that
Yeah.
promise to him because the thing with a personal brand, people, and in general, the human psychology works
Yeah.
this way. We want instant
Yeah.
results. So you have these gurus out there promising people that within the first month, you're going to have 10 inbound
Yeah.
leads. Where with a personal brand, it's all about building trust. And trust is a very gradual
Yeah.
thing. I mean, think about it. You have people telling, like, you can even think about it in terms of health. You have all these people selling
Yeah.
courses, how to get a six pack in
Right.
2 weeks, how to go from super, overweight to fit
Yeah.
overnight. Nothing worth having comes
For sure.
overnight. And it's the same thing with a personal
Yeah.
brand, where, again, to use my own profile as an example, when I just started my profile, I wasn't having any inbound, like anyone reaching out to me, not podcasts, not opportunities, not clients. And I've gotten my brand to the part now where I have podcasts
Yeah.
like you reaching out, and I do have people reaching out to use my services now, and I have massive opportunities coming inbound now. But it's taken 4 months for my profile to get to where it currently
That's
is.
so crazy
So,
short though. Did you just say? I thought you were about to say 2 years. Did you just say four
right.
months, Michelle?
It
So
took
when
four
did you?
months
How long
for
ago were you in the
inbound,
traditional advertising? Just so I understand the timeline better. Like that's recent.
like seven
Yeah, but 7
years.
years, and you left it a
Seven
year ago, or
years.
you left it 6 months ago.
I left it about six
Oh,
months
that's so
ago now.
amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
there one thing I wanted to add for the audience is I do get a lot of inbound now, and when people get attention, you can put offers on the end of that. This is like some inside baseball or some dirty secrets, like you were talking about, Michelle.
Right.
And so there is influencer culture get working its way into LinkedIn. And for better or for worse, I don't know. There's probably positive upside for everyone there. However, I am selective about who comes on to the show and talks about LinkedIn because there needs to be a voice and a business understanding behind them. So I had reviewed your content. I liked what you're saying. I was like, "Oh, great. She knows more than just
Thanks,
like
Chad.
get attention, pay me for LinkedIn." So I agree with you. I would caution anyone who's like this is great and then they just go follow the next person getting a bunch of views that's just kind of saying some regurgitated stuff. It's not really about the views. You need to be talking to someone that understands what it means to be positioned, that uses words like positioning
Hmm.
and business processes, and 100%. Like there, I would say that some inbound happened very quickly for me, but I wouldn't call it quality inbound. To me, it was just like very early indicators that
Hmm.
there's traction here. This thing was working.
It's
Yeah,
working.
exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah, I appreciate you mentioning that.
Hmm.
So what else? Keep going on the value
Right.
proposition, inbound, etc.
So, yes. So it compounds.
Yeah,
And at the beginning, you may have a little bit more outreach where you're sending DM messages to people. But again, then they've been following your
right.
content. So it makes it so much easier to then get that person to
Yeah,
trust you and get them on a call and convert them to
yeah.
client. And yeah, so when my brand just started, when my business just started, I was struggling to get clients. I was struggling, because any founder would know that you kind of take a
For
step
sure.
back, and it's a whole
Yeah.
journey from the beginning. It's like you have to put structures in place to build your agency. You have to go out and find
100%.
clients, but within a few months, that's turned
Yeah.
around for me. Now people reach out to me and they ask, can we be like, let's schedule a
Yeah.
call. I need your services. How can you help
Yeah.
me? And within the space of 4 to 6 months, that has
That's so good.
happened.
I'm glad you didn't make
So
that
when
guarantee
someone
too. It's just that's normally a bad client anyway when they're coming in there right off the bat, like trying to eliminate all
and
uncertainty. Yeah,
they want
exactly,
five
exactly.
leads like right up the front. Yeah, I was like, ah, shit. And it was such a good deal as well, because yeah, it was such a good deal as well. So I was thinking about, should I do
No,
it?
because
Should
he
I
would have
not do it?
squeezed his
But
way. He would have
then,
squeezed his way out of it. I've been through a lot of those. I was a very high
yeah,
paid salary guy in the U.S. for a while, and then I went freelance. And it's very interesting. People will snake you through a lot of things, and you just got to polarize quickly. Like, hey, this probably isn't for
yeah.
you. I did want to say about the flywheel, how it compounds. I've noticed that also. I committed to just a few specific steps. I run a to-do list every morning, and in there is like 20 connections, 20 comments, and then the podcast kind of takes care of the content for me. I'm unique. I had to like dial back on my original content just because there was so much coming from the podcast. But yesterday, there was a consultant for, listen to how specific this is, German CEOs who speak English. Tremendous following
Whoa.
already. Wonderful things that she had to say. And I had already reached out to her like, you got to come on the show. We got to talk about, I had just had a German CFO on.
Yes.
So when the Nicolette episode dropped, she actually went to my profile and then saw that I had sent the request. She instantly accepted it, got in my DMs, and was like, "Oh, hey, So it's just so funny, I guess, because you can't. I agree with you. I don't think most of my audience will think that they're going to get overnight results, but I have found that
Mhm.
compared to other go-to-market processes. For example, these companies will go to 4 to 6 industry events a year. That's like $200,000 a year to show up to an industry event. You're going to meet a bunch of
Right.
strangers that are kicking tires. They want free stress balls from your booth or whatever swag that you have to give out. They're going to drop an email list, and you think that you got a bunch of leads, and maybe you get 1% of those. $200,000 you spent. So these companies understand there's a flywheel effect to it. But what I've been noticing is that way less money, just laser focused into LinkedIn as an actual channel, pays
Mhm.
huge dividends right there. So I got us a little off track. So they're convinced. They see the value in this, Michelle. What would you tell them? How would you, let's give them a playbook, see if we can give them something broad, like, hey, here's some low hanging fruit, start here now.
Mhm.
And then maybe even before you get in that, like, what are the don'ts? What are the big don'ts that you see?
The big don't that I see is firstly just copy and
Yeah.
pasting AI content or very generic tips. Because the biggest problem you have with very generic tips is anyone can just copy and paste that from
Yeah.
ChatGPT. So you're not going to get a lot of traction, and people are just going to feel like they've seen it
Yes.
before. So it's very okay to give the tips, but then back it up with
No, it's
evidence.
not
So
okay.
maybe,
ChatGPT writing your post is not okay. Break down AI slop.
it's not
Yeah, break
okay.
down AI slop for us and
Break it
tell these
down.
people what they're doing wrong with it.
Yeah. So that's perfectly okay to use AI. I use AI to write some of my posts. As long as you're taking that post and you're making it your own, you're adding some personality to it. Maybe you're a person that uses the word cool a lot. Then you want to add, the words that you use, the phrases that you use. You want to add some
That's good.
personality. You want to add, if you're going to give your tips, then make sure you're backing it up by uh real
Yeah,
insights. So maybe it's a client you've worked on.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, sorry to interrupt. It's just the other day
no
somebody
worries.
put a post, and maybe it was just a joke, but they were like, "Oh, I used cloud to change the operating system in the truck. And then a couple people were like, dang, I really want that. How'd you do that? He said like a magician never reveals their tricks. And I was like, that's so lame in 2026. No, I instantly don't believe
Yeah.
that you can do this, you know? So yeah, back your stuff up with proof. Um, Maybe back on the dotes though, like what are the telltale signs in the AI post? Because I think when people start, they feel like they're clever,
hmm
they're impressed with what they see, they have this neatly packaged little post, and they're like, "Oh, I sound amazing." So what? How do you notice it or recognize it, and what are the pitfalls in using it?
Right. So you can tell when it's AI
Yeah,
instantly. Like AI just has this very robotic way of speaking. It doesn't sound very human, and there's certain
yeah,
catchphrases that you read, and it's like instant AI.
yeah.
Um, so the biggest reason why I tell people to stay away from that content is as a founder, you're trying to build
Mm,
trust. And if you're posting pictures of like this AI generated picture of
mm,
yourself, and people can very clearly see that this is an AI generated
mm.
picture, how are they supposed to trust you and your
Yeah,
services if you can't even show your real
that's so
face?
good.
Or if you can't even post content that sounds like it's
Mm.
you? Um, People can tell. Like there's no beating around the
Yeah.
bush. If it's AI,
You
people
know
can
why I love
immediately
this
tell.
podcast too? Because we bring guests on like you, and we're gonna talk for like 45 minutes to an hour and a half. And I've had people that seemed very interesting on LinkedIn, and then they turn it down. And when I kind of dig into it, I'm like, oh, I don't actually think that you have a voice. I don't think that you're writing this. I don't think that's you, you know? And so I think that
hmm
it's been amazing to just talk with real people for an extended amount of time because you get to know the real Michelle. You get to hear the real story. You get to hear the real thought process, like you working through problem solving live. And that's so much louder today than just here's my neatly summarized 3 points that I built with
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah. No, people, there's definitely this need for
Mm,
humanization. People feel so overwhelmed by just everything sounding the
yes.
same, the comments all looking the same,
Yeah.
the posts all looking the same. And even with like deepfake now, where you can't even
Yeah.
tell if it's real or
I
not,
don't trust anything.
there's this massive,
Yeah. I hate to be like
exactly, you don't know what to trust
conspiracy
anymore.
hat, tinfoil hat, but like I'll see a news article and I'm like, I don't trust it yet. You know, I got to see
Yeah,
it like four more times somewhere else.
you don't
I don't
trust
trust a
it.
still photo. I barely trust a 3 second video.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Exactly. So, like, the last thing you want people to do is to see your post. That's
Mm,
AI. I don't know if I can trust this person because they're just sounding like everyone
yeah.
else. So that is the biggest mistake that I'm currently
Mm.
seeing.
You know
Um,
what's funny about that? Go
Another
ahead. Go ahead. What's
mistake.
the other mistake?
Let's stick on this topic for a while. What were you gonna
Well,
say?
what's funny about the AI being a mistake is that you can almost go wrong. You can do the human voice wrong, and it works better than the AI post and comments.
Hmm.
And so the way I've tried to explain that to people is that in this crowded channel, this noisy AI produced channel now, it's given this rare opportunity in my 40 years of existence, this rare opportunity where like the
Yes,
human voice is just ringing so true and,
shoots
and it
through.
goes straight through. So I think what I would encourage people on that is it actually kind of lowered the bar. So when you were in professional creative and advertising, you needed to pay a lot of money for
Mm.
copywriters and you had to really choose words and you couldn't just go out there and like miss a comma or have the wrong capitalization or not complete a thought. But now like when you just digest something and say what truly came to mind, it's just like you find buddies very quickly. And so I think that's interesting too, because especially for some of these
Mhm.
founders that you do a lot of good things well, but maybe you're not a pro marketer. Well, the good news is like you kind of don't have to be one now. You
Right.
just have to show up and be human.
Yes. And it's kind of a mindset shift because for a very long time, LinkedIn was
Yes.
that very
Yeah.
professional, robotic platform where you're just showing business insights, you're just posting about the business, where times have changed
Yeah.
now. You have to let go of that business persona, show us a little bit more about who you are, what you do for fun, what you do behind the scenes. We want to get to know
Yeah.
you, we want to relate to you. And then through you, we then, want to support
Yes.
you, and then we support your services or your product.
It's very interesting how that works. It's I wouldn't say it's like reciprocity, I think is how some people have explained it. I like this person. Oh, he or she has an offer. I want to support
Yes,
that person. Okay, so then
yes.
let's go on the, so we covered some don'ts. If someone's saying, all right, I'm in it, what's wrong with my LinkedIn now? Like, where do you run someone through it if you were to give them like a high level, quick little boot camp? What are the must dos?
hmm
Where do you start them? What's that look like for our CRO or our CEO that wants to try to generate more leads with it?
Yes. So, the biggest thing that you could do right now to fix your profile, at the beginning of this year, LinkedIn actually changed their whole algorithm and they introduced an AI algorithm which looks at your profile, it looks at your headline, it looks at your bio, it looks at your banner, and it connects that to the type of content you're busy posting. So, if your banner says that you're a salesperson and you're busy posting about your neighbor's dog, for example, it's not going to reach the person that you want it to
Yeah.
reach because it's put you in the sales bucket. And now it's pushing your posts to people that would be interested in the sales content, and now they're getting the neighbor's
Yeah.
dog
Yeah.
content. Um, so the biggest thing I would say is take a look at your profile. Make sure that your headline and your banner and your bio is all linked. They're all making it very clear what you do, who you help, who you are, and make sure that the posts then
Yeah. Well,
is linked to that
let's
as
try to
well.
unpack that some, and I'll just stick with the CFO, uh, who was the mid
Mhm.
50s woman. So I think some people struggle with this because I've been on LinkedIn, dang, now almost 18, 19 years.
Long
Yeah,
time.
it's been around for a while. I remember
Wow.
it had a horrible,
Wow.
I tell this story sometimes in shame. I was living in New York City in 2009 or 10, I think, and I knew an engineer and he was moving to wherever their office is. He's like, yeah, I'm going to work for LinkedIn. And I just was like, why are you doing that? Like, you just threw your whole career away. Anyway, they stuck through it. But back then and even now, it's like, I would say I'm a director of worldwide sales operations at whatever company. So, what does
Mhm.
the CRO do at this company now to be interesting, personable, but then also work within the system that LinkedIn is providing for us? Does she still just say, I'm CFO at Acme Products? Like, how does she start addressing her profile and banner?
So know, she has to look at who her target audience is first. Who is, who's going to be engaging with her profile, who's going to be buying her
Yeah.
services. Then based on that information, she's going to go and she's going to find, I like to call it a golden
Okay.
thread.
That's great.
So the golden thread is like one sentence that defines who you are, who you help. Um, then that golden thread, you put that on your banner. You want to let's use the example of the CFO, and let's say the CFO is working with scaling agencies. Then very clear, who do you help? You help agencies. What do you help them with? You help scaling financial
Yeah.
agencies or finance for scaling
Yeah.
agencies. Then you want to make sure that that golden thread is written in your headline, which is that little sentence under or the little paragraph under your profile picture. You then want to make sure that you have that same sentence written in your headline. You want to make sure that in your bio, you're speaking about
Yeah.
helping scaling
Yeah.
agencies financially. And then you want to make sure that the type of content you're posting, you're touching on scaling agents.
Yeah.
So you want to
No, I
find
understand.
the niche, and instead of being very broad, you want this person that landed on your profile to immediately be able to tell this person can help me. So you want to make it as
Yeah.
specific as possible to that
She would
person.
have a vested interest in the success of the company because it's private equity. For the company to be successful, she would in that case need to be targeting the company's ideal customers, right? And sort of speaking to the need that that company solves. Or do you still think that she focuses on
Mhm.
herself to say, like, I'm the best CFO out there in the market? Does that make sense?
That does make sense. And this is actually the same thing that I had because I was working as an art director, but I started my agency. So then I also had this, like, I had the same problem where I was like, do I post art direction content or do I post personal branding content? So very similar situation. And I actually like have some coaching clients who are in the nine to
Yeah.
five, but are starting their own company on the side. And to them, I say, if your company allows
Yeah.
it, then, you know, then post about the thing that you want to be
Yeah.
doing. If they don't allow it, then still build the audience. Just do not don't be very
Yeah.
specific about the type of content you're
I've
posting.
found in the last couple years at least, companies are much more understanding. I used to be horrified at the idea that someone would be like,
Yeah.
why is our director of sales
Yes.
operations have videos on LinkedIn? Why is he talking about
Posting.
managing and
Yes.
hiring people? I was consulting through a firm that was about 24 million a year, and that CEO was in my Slack, and she was saying, "Hey, Chad, really love that you're leaning into content." And I had interviewed one of our customers. I didn't even know it. She's like, give us a heads up next time
Mhm.
you interview one of our customers. We'll help you support. I was like, oh dang, like am I fired? But anyway, I found that companies lean into it a lot more, and I'll still take on salary work, and so I put in a lot of job applications, and I've been in interviews with CFOs and CROs, and they see the stuff and they're like, hey, I love it. I guess maybe mine's a unique case because I'm talking about the actual discipline that I do for a living, the revenue operations.
Mhm.
I think maybe I want to try one more time at that question. I'm not pushing back on it, but let's think the founder. Let's say she founded this company. It solves a specific solution. She wants to get 17 more customers for the company. I guess it's the same advice as agency, but she's the
Mhm.
person and she's the CFO for the company that does a thing. Would you have her talk about herself, or would you
Mhm.
have her find a way to humanize herself and then talk about what the company does for the market so she could create more business for them?
So my biggest question to her would be like, what is
Yeah.
if she's going to be posting content to get business, then it's a very good employee. I mean,
Yes.
very loyal employee if she's wanting to, grow the
Yeah.
company
Yeah.
that she's working for. Um, But in that case, yes, I would
Yeah.
say that if she wants to find clients for the company, then she would be humanizing
Yeah.
herself. She would be doing the same thing, humanizing herself, while at the same time maybe showing behind the scenes at that
Yeah.
company and name
Okay.
dropping the company a little bit
Yeah, I
more.
guess to be clear, in a $120
And
million company like hers, they're probably physical goods. Someone can fact check me, but that's probably a 4 or 5 multiple. So she's gonna
yes,
get a big chunk of that 500 million when it sells. She has a
right.
very
Okay.
vested
Okay. I
interest in
see.
getting that company
I
sold. Now,
see.
but that being said,
Growing the
hearing
company.
hearing what you're saying, the layman in me would ask her, okay, Miss Talented CFO, do you want more CFO and maybe a CEO position, and you want to be on the board
Mhm.
of other companies, so you're promoting yourself? Or do you want this major
Yes.
cash out when the company sells to the next private equity band, and then that would direct the strategy? Is that correct? Is that the way you would look at that?
Mm. Yes. So it would all depend on what her
Yeah.
goal is. If she's looking at growing the company she's currently
Mm.
working at, then I would show very specifically behind the
Yeah.
scenes, very specific name drops, very specific, because then you want people to like read the
Yeah.
stories that she's posting about this company so that they can go and support the business page, so that they can become clients of that company. But if her goal is to take on her own type of work
Yeah.
on the side, then it would be the humanization while posting about the finance side of things, but not mentioning the
Right.
company that she's
Right.
currently
I'm
working
tracking.
working
Okay.
at.
So you're
Um,
getting them. So we were talking through the pointers, low hanging fruit. You were covering the golden thread. So and then did you touch all the points in that? I heard banner. Well, maybe just summarize this. There's a banner,
headline.
there's a profile pic, there's a headline, there's an about section. Like walk us through those briefly
Yes.
in order, the way you would look at them, and just kind of what you would say. Like make sure this is that, make sure
Mhm.
that's that.
Right. So if someone just landed on your profile, the first thing they see is your banner. And your banner is your, I like to call it the
And mine's
24-hour
so boring.
billboard, which,
I've had 5 of you experts on now, and every time I talk to one of you, I'm like, "Ugh, my LinkedIn's so
yeah.
boring. I gotta figure something out about that. All right, so banner, landing page, first impression. Chad's is boring.
I think that is one of the Chad. It can't be that bad.
It's generic. You go
I
look at it later.
mean, it can't be that.
You'll send me a message and be like,
I'll go take a
horrible. Take
little.
it down.
You made me curious now. I want to see that banner. But I guess your profile is the first impression, and you're going to have massive CEOs, potential clients landing on your profile. And if your profile doesn't look
Yeah,
professional, then you don't
that's
look
right.
professional. Um, it's in the similar way as I always like using this example. If you're about to do business with someone and he rocks up in this car that's busy falling apart, even though people are telling us don't judge a book by its
Oh, for
cover,
sure.
you
For sure.
judge.
Yeah.
People inherently
Yeah.
judge. So they're going to land on your profile and they're immediately going to think,
Do
I
you
don't know if
have
I
the
trust
thing?
this
Is it a thing in
person.
South
Like,
Africa between the blue bubble on an iPhone and like the green bubble on an Android? Is that a thing for you guys?
that is not a
Okay.
thing for us, but now I need to
In
know
the
more.
U.S., when you text when you iMessage from an iPhone, it's a blue bubble, and if you text from any
Oh,
other
wow.
phone, it'll be a green bubble. It'll come in. So
You get
you get
judged.
judged
Instant judged.
terribly. And the other
Instant
day, I
judgment.
was helping a business owner out. I was getting him some content as a favor, and he sent me a green bubble, and I'm like, dang, dude. I was like, I can't even send you a picture. It's not even going to go through high grade. So now I'm like sending him stuff on Messenger, and I'm just right away, I'm like, I don't want to do business with
Oh
you, dude.
my
So
God.
anyway, yeah, we judge, I think, is what we're trying to say. Like, it matters. All right. Also, on the same point,
It matters.
I paid a girl from my church $50 for new headshots. Like, she was good with the whole bokeh in the back, and I was like, oh, nice. So I
Hmm.
swapped it all out. I was like, we're gonna take this seriously. We're gonna do this
Nice.
right. And I guess why I'm saying that is I know some of you guys are 50. Like, update your headshots. Go look like you. Look normal. I see some of you guys out there that own these businesses. I've known you a long time. That was you 12 years ago. Get some new photos. So anyway,
Yeah. Or when the face is so like face tuned,
yeah,
like there's no
yeah.
wrinkle in
That's so
sight,
funny
and
that
it's
you
like,
dropped Facetune on this show. Yeah,
that's
that's good.
um but yeah, so you want your profile to look
Yeah.
professional. You want it to immediately tell the person that landed on this profile what you do, who you help, so that they can know. Because you, like at the end of the day, you have 3 seconds to make an impression. So within 3 seconds, this person has to know this is what you do. You're able to help
Yeah.
them. And if they want to know more, then they're going to click on the
Yeah.
bio and they're going to read a little bit more about you. But if your profile didn't make an impression, then they don't
Okay.
even get to the
So what
bio.
matters in the bio then? How do you go? The bio used to be I went to XY school. I've got four three-letter
Right.
acronyms, and I've done business
Yes.
40 million to 700 million, and is like boring, boring, boring. But what matters in the bio? How do you coach people on
Yes.
that?
Yes. So the bio always has to start with a pain point.
Ooh.
And the reason you do this is
Look,
because
Michelle, I'm
you
telling you,
you
my
want to
profile's
hook
boring.
people.
Hang on. I need to take this note down.
We'll go take a look. We'll
Change,
go take a look, Shad. We'll go
change
take a look.
bio. I gotta write this live to lead with pain. Lead with pain. There's a coach I had
Lead with
a long
pain.
time ago, and I'm gonna give this to the whole audience for free. On cold traffic, you lead with pain points. And the logic is if you're standing on the street in
Mhm.
a busy corner and a guy's on the corner saying, "Hey, I got $100 for you. Hey, come on over here. I got $100 for you." None of us believe that guy, right? But if he were to say, "Michelle,
Yeah.
there's a snake by your right foot," we all believe inherently that another human is willing to lead you away from pain and changed the whole way I did YouTube. And it's like really helped out. So I, it's funny how I don't connect these dots sometimes. Profile, lead with pain. Mine does not lead with pain right now.
It's again, it's a founder brand. So like everything you do has that sales
That's right.
mentality. And if you've done sales before, you know that the call starts with pushing on pain
Mm,
points, and at the end of the call, you position yourself as a
mm,
solution. So that is exactly how you would structure your posts on LinkedIn. That is exactly how you would structure your bio on
yeah.
LinkedIn, where you look at who your target audience is, and the biggest thing they're currently struggling with you ask that question. So let's use the example of the CFO
Yeah.
again, since we keep
Yeah, and
coming back to
we'll
that.
make her an agency at
Um,
this point. I don't want to reveal the product they sold,
yeah.
but yeah, let's just say I had a very talented CFO on the show the other day. He illuminated tremendous pain points that these businesses have. I thought it was brilliant. So yeah, let's go into any of those pains.
So we want to look at who her target
Mm,
audience is. And if her target audience is, let's say, small to medium agencies, then in terms of finance, what are these agencies
mm,
struggling with? Are they maybe they are not keeping track of their
mm,
finances? So the pain point would be that they're so busy that they haven't looked at their
yeah.
finances in months and they don't know what's going on. So you ask that
Mm,
question, that's gonna make their heart beat
yeah.
a little bit. Oh no, that's
Yeah.
me. I can relate to that. And then you go into mentioning uh, the clients that you've worked with and clients that you've gotten
Mm,
results for. So started working with this agency, and in X amount of
mm.
time, we saved them this
That's so
much
good. You're
money.
also
I
qualifying
worked
there
with this
at the same
person.
time, by putting it as a question.
You're
I didn't think of that. So
qualifying.
someone will say, "Yes, that's me," or "No, that's me," and that's a good thing.
Yes.
That's good.
Exactly. You want to be, that's why you want to be as specific as possible because you almost want this person to feel like you're talking directly to them. And then, then what we're going to do is we're going to position ourselves as the authority. So we're going to list a bunch of results we've gotten for different clients we've worked on. Um, and then we end off with a beautiful call to action. If you want to work with me, send me a
That's
DM,
so good.
or you send them to your website. You send them, you
Yeah,
lead
yeah,
them. It's the
exactly.
funnel. You lead them
Do
wherever
you
you
do
want them to
anything?
go.
I'm seeing more. I'm trying to decide where I want to go with the banner. And do you also use? Let's see. I got your page right here. Do you use like the little arrows or yeah? So you've got a call to action in the top left. Sign up to the webinar.
Mhm.
Um, you've got a value proposition, and then kind of a pain point in a. You're saying position to profit. So well, this is pitching an event, right? On April 30th. Okay.
Yes, it happened
Yeah.
yesterday. I need to
Oh,
change
that's right.
that.
It's May 1st. Yeah, but I get it. So I guess I was going to ask the bio is more than just, or rather, the banner's more than just, some aesthetic. It's also, you're using it to like funnel people down into the other things also. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So, like my event that happened yesterday, the banner was a very good say like selling
Mm,
point for us because whenever someone lands on my
mm,
profile, they immediately know about the event I'm hosting. And then what you do is another very powerful part of the profile that we haven't touched on yet is your featured
mm-hmm.
section.
Yeah, you know
The
what's so
featured
funny to me
section,
is
many people don't
I
know.
personally, yeah, you just said it. Some people don't even know this exists. Like I didn't realize I could use it. I didn't even know what
Exactly.
to put it in. Cloud Cowork gave me some tips. I don't know if they were great, but I'm using it now. So yeah, there's a
Yes.
featured section.
Yes. So the featured section is a very powerful part of the brand. And the reason I say that is because you can add links to the featured section. So you can add your Calendly link to that
Yeah.
section. And again, if you're thinking of the founder brand, you want the clients to be able to reach out to you, or you want the clients to be able to see testimonials of people that you've worked on
Yeah.
before. So my biggest recommendation for the featured section is you want to have a section where they can book a call
Yeah.
with you, linking out to your Calendly
Yeah.
link. And then after that, I would have any video testimonials. And this is super powerful for a personal brand, especially in today's day and age where people can just make up
That's
whatever
right.
they want to make up. You want to show videos of clients that you've worked on speaking about the services and the results that you've gotten for them, as many of those as possible
Yeah, I
in the
was going to
featured
ask
section.
you,
Because
did
then,
you do you have I've heard some
mhm,
people put limits on that, and as I've seen more profiles, I actually like that you have more than 3, right? Like there's a plethora here that people could spend time on. Do you have a preference on that?
mhm,
Do you tell people to stick to 3, just do 2? Like clearly you've got more than 5 in yours. So how do you look at that?
right. So it would depend on the campaign you're running at that time. If you like, I would do always between three and
Okay.
five, depending on what your priority is as a founder at that stage. If your priority is, to be able to book calls with leads, then you have your Calendly link. If your priority is an event you're running, you have a sign up to the event. But we always want to have video
Yeah.
testimonials, or if you don't have them, written testimonials. Um, Between three and five is
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
It's a sweet
Okay. Good.
spot.
I don't see a lot of video testimonials. I like that. I think there's on lead generation, there's a
Mm.
very well proven theory about landing pages and sign up pages. And the more video testimonials you have, the
Yes,
better. So I could
the
see how
better.
that works here. Okay.
In fact, there's a very big thing now that it's landing pages, but for events. So what you would have then is it's not the permanent company landing page, it's just a landing page for that event. So then to like or to purchase whatever they're selling at the end of this webinar or whatever, you have to scroll
So
through
good.
all of the
Yeah.
results and all of the
Yeah.
testimonials. So by the time you get to the purchase, oh, I know this person knows what they're doing because
That's
look at
right.
all the results that they've gotten. It's very powerful
Yeah.
sales
Yeah.
tactic.
Okay. So featured section. Now, is this person ready to post something yet? Or is this CFO ready to post something yet? Or is there still more she needs to do to the profile?
So now that you have your profile set up, I think you're
Okay.
good. If you have a very clear profile picture, you have your banner, your future, your bio, now you're ready to
Okay.
post. So my biggest piece of advice is I think people get very intimidated by the first post, and then they get stuck inside of this perfectionistic procrastination. I don't want people to judge me. I don't want to come across as, you know, this it's almost imposter
Yeah.
syndrome where you're terrified to make
Well, I don't think they want to
the
be.
first
I think they
move.
don't want to be judged.
Judged.
I had a
Yeah.
foray into content over the last 2 years through different things. I'm kind of over that, but I still
Mm.
remember tangibly where it's like, in fact, one of the VPs of sales one day was like, Chad, I don't know how many people are seeing those videos, but sure are a few people in this company. So it was like a double insult at the same time. He was almost saying
Yeah.
nobody's watching your content except for like 3 of us at the company here, and we're all laughing at you. I was like, all right, dog.
And the funny thing is, that is how you
Yeah, for sure.
improve. You're never going to improve if you don't take the
Yeah.
first step. And a good post to start with is always an introduction
Okay.
post. So we want to tell people, and I'm not talking about this. I'm the
Mm,
CEO of this company. This is the function I do from day to day. You want to
mm,
humanize it. So you're going to say, hi guys, I'm Chad. This is my first time
mm,
posting. So it's not going to be 100%. You're
mm.
transparent. Like, this is my first
Yeah.
post. Send me some love in the comments. I want to tell you a little bit more about me. This is what I like. This is what I dislike. This is what my business
Hmm.
does.
Okay,
Um,
let's go way back now
like,
because
say hi back in the
we just scared a bunch
comments.
of people. We scared a bunch of people that
Right.
have an old way of thinking about LinkedIn, and they're saying LinkedIn
Hmm.
was to put my little marketing tiles on there and to show pictures of me and the team at dinner, and every
Hmm.
3 years or so I'm going to update and say I got a promotion or a new job. So LinkedIn is not about like hi guys,
Yes.
show me some love in the comments. So what do you do when people push back on that? What do you tell them?
If you want a strategy that, so I've written a few of these posts for my clients
Hmm.
before, and every time we post it, almost instantly goes
Yeah.
viral. What you want to do is you want to tell your entrepreneurial
Mm.
journey. So you want to start with 19, 1990.
Oh,
I went
I
to
know what
this
post you're talking
college.
about. I see those a lot now.
2000,
Okay.
this
Yeah, yeah.
happened. 2025, this happened. So it's a little bit less
Yeah.
intimidating than the very vulnerable, hi guys, this is me. But while at the same time, it's showing people the journey you've been
Yeah.
on, your
Yeah, yeah.
professional journey,
You
and
know what I'd say to
it's just
people
very like
that shame
it's
that though, like they're all willing to put that little green circle around their profile pic on LinkedIn, open to to looking for jobs. I'm like,
oh
man, talk about the ring of
yeah.
shame. Like you're or it's this sob story of like recently got a part of the layoffs from Oracle. I'm like, dude, I don't want your sob
Yeah.
story. At least make it creative. Like that's a good point. I did get laid off recently, and it was a very interesting experience. But I didn't go right to LinkedIn and be like, "Open to work,
Oh,
fellas. You know, here's my sauce. Everyone, rally
right.
around me." Man, now I'm almost angry. Like, go take Michelle's post and get creative. Let me be able to have a conversation on this thing. Fascinating. That's good.
There's a challenge for everyone
Yeah.
watching. Literally, tell us your
Yeah.
journey from when it starts, from when your entrepreneurial journey started to today.
That's good. Yeah. I'm scared of that post. I'm thinking about it in my head right now. I might draft it, but I'm scared of that post. So that
Are you going to write yours
I'm
after the
thinking about it. I'm
session?
thinking about it. I told myself I would not be that guy that put the green ring on my photo and talked about the layoff. But I don't know. It's been a wild ride. It's been
It's,
interesting. It's forced me to do different things.
you know, right. How I look at it is you're going to be helping so many people because still today, like people are scared of
Yeah.
vulnerability. So most people are just showing the
Yeah.
highlights where you would be helping so many people that are currently
Mm,
in that position, but they're just not sharing it.
yeah.
And then it's almost like this on Instagram, it was like that for a long time, where lots of women, lots of men, they weren't even like posting pictures without filters on
Mm,
it. So everything was so
mm,
filtered that everyone felt, oh my gosh, I must be so ugly because look at everyone's
mm.
skins, look at everyone's life, like everything, like their lives are so good, but look at
Yeah.
my life.
I learned that real
And
quick on the
if you
podcast.
can be that
I'm not
person,
shaming anyone, but like
yeah,
I've been in the DMs talking and they finally get on the podcast and I'm like, whoa, that photo's way different, you know?
same person.
And, you know, I'm not judging you guys, but just like, I don't know, show up the same. Like, be the same person. I think people love you anyway, but
Yeah.
anyway, it's a different podcast. Okay.
We're getting
Yes, we went through
sidetracked.
posts. So you told them intro. Um, are
Mhm.
there? I have like these little safe go-to posts, which you're challenging me to think outside the box. I have one today that that I wanted to run, and I'm like, oh, it's safe because it's going to mention my daughter. It's going to be cute.
Yes.
Everyone's going to like it. I think I might abandon
Okay.
that one now. I don't want to do it. But like, what are there other post types that you could say lean on these? I've heard other people
Hmm.
refer to them as like pillars. You know, what's kind of the strategy so that
Yes.
they don't just say, okay, Michelle, I posted my intro. Now what?
Yes. So the biggest thing when it comes to posting is this thing called
Mm,
pillars. And what a pillar is, it is like a bucket of things that you post about consistently. So it's almost a category that you make for yourself so that you make sure that the type of thing you're posting has a purpose
Yeah.
behind it. So a personal brand has between 3 to 5 pillars, and it is like subjects that you know a lot about and can touch like a lot on. So, for example, when you think of something like online marketing, a pillar then would be online sales. Another pillar could be um, online marketing, could be maybe online trends. Another pillar could be um, um, like things that you look at the big topic, which is online marketing, and then you break it down
Yeah.
into 3 to 5 buckets for
Yeah.
yourself, making sure that every post touches on a different bucket.
Yeah.
Um,
That's good. I mean, I
and
think I've seen people have success putting like a personal interest in there too. Like, if we go back to our CFO, she might talk about how a company could be profitable but not be cash flowing, or cash flowing not be profitable. So you've got like finance misconceptions. Um, month end and
yes.
quarter end is always a challenge for them. So now you've got like the time constraints and pressures of the job. But then like maybe she likes a particular Arabian roast coffee or something, or the things like matcha tea like really jump out. I've seen people use their cats. I was on with the social media expert the other day, that will air a little bit. He has a chow chow that's gone viral. He's
Yes.
the owner of a viral chow chow, and I'm like,
Whoa.
that's great. So these things are memorable. Okay, so what you've established so far, I think, is the positioning, and now they've gotten to a mode where they're
Hmm.
creating. Now help them. Maybe we can land this plane by helping them understand the cycle or the flywheel. Like what happens next? They've got impressions, they've got views. What's now a
Yes.
strategy that you put into place that
Hmm.
that turns that into business for these people?
Yes. So we want to look out for something called a signal. And every time someone is landing on your profile, that is a signal. Because why would this person be, they wouldn't just be randomly clicking on your profile. That means they read a post and they agreed with it. They liked what you were saying. So they've clicked. And there's a few signals we can look at. We can look at a like, we can look at a comment, we can look at a connection request. And if this person is your target
Yeah.
audience, then so I just want to touch on this
Yeah,
quickly
yeah.
as well. Pitch slaps. No,
Okay, all right. No,
no, do not pitch
unpack pitch
slap.
slap. I think most people
Do
in
not pitch
sales know it,
slap.
but my finance people might not. And I get them
Yes,
now
yes.
actually because I have more
So,
traffic. I hate them. I
mhm,
freaking hate them.
all the
If I
time.
accept your
I
request and then like bam, right in my messages, just all
do
right.
not
So
pitch
explain
me.
explain
Do
the
not
pitch
pitch
slap.
me. Yes. So what a lot of people do is they see that this person that would be the perfect client lands on their profile, and oh, this person would want to buy my services. I'm going to send them a pitch immediately, straight off the bat. You don't even say hi. It's just pitch. And this person that was just pitched is not going to reply back to you. They're just going to ghost you, block you, never
You
speak
know
to
what?
you
I didn't
again.
think I was guilty of this.
Um,
Now I think I might be. There's a
yeah.
really big creator out there. He's got like an iconic mustache, and he speaks to both business and personal brand growth. And because I had Mandy and Nikki on, he accepted my connection request, and he's been supporting the post. I've been in his DMs twice now, and I'm like, come on, brother, I appreciate the support of these posts. Let's do the podcast. So maybe I did come in a little too fast and too hard on that message. Now that I think about it.
Yeah. So what you want to do, maybe just, I mean, use it as a humorous situation. Literally just send him a message apologizing for
Yeah, yeah.
pitching and then ask if you can have like a
Yeah,
redo.
I might. I might. I actually think he
But
wants to be on the show. I think he's going to come around. I try not to, especially these busy. Maybe you could talk about this with so much inbound too. Now, I think people, when you're just like me a few weeks ago, the I call them now the
Mhm.
500 plus connections. Your normal Joe Schmo, they've got like their 700 connections.
Yes.
There's nothing special about
Okay.
followers. That's just a normal user on LinkedIn. When you're me, you don't show up every day with 100 in the little red circle, when you get on LinkedIn, and for yours probably even more at this point, or messages blowing up. So you tend to overthink these signals. Oh, so and so viewed my profile. So what's a way to like not invest too much energy in that? Like what's a real strong signal indicator, and what does it feel like on your side, like your experience when you have all these messages? Like don't worry if this person didn't respond for 2 days or ignored you. Like what's the other side? All this activity. What does it feel like when you're opening your inbox?
Yes. So it used to be very overwhelming because I was just accepting all the connection requests, all the following requests, but I've kind of had to work out a strategy for
Yeah.
myself. So if you're very clear about who your target
Yeah.
audience is, then you accept their connection
That's right.
requests, but everything else you just
Yeah.
ignore because at the end of the day, as founders, we have very busy
That's right.
schedules and we don't have time to be
Yeah.
messaging everyone all the
That's right.
time. So that is another reason why pitches don't do very
Yeah.
well because this founder doesn't have time to be reading your pitch and replying back to you. Even though a lot of the times they may need your
Yeah.
service, they're not going to reply to you. It is a gradual relationship
That's right.
build that
I've
you
also
do.
got people, they're
And
trying to like
you can,
nurture in and do these little hey Chad, what'd you think about this? Or oh, I've found that, and I'm
yeah,
like, dude, I don't. This is no disrespect to you, and I wish you the best, man, but I don't have time to just be like small talking in the DMs all day on LinkedIn. I
yeah.
get a lot more of that now too, and so I guess the reason I'm saying that is
hmm
because I'm starting to see the other side, and I'm actually very specific now too on who I accept as a connection or not. I don't mean to sound arrogant, but it's like
hmm
I don't need another YouTube growth
Yeah.
person pitching me. I don't need another editor pitching me. I don't need marketers. So it's like unless you're a
But
CRO,
do you
what's
see?
that?
Yeah. But do you see how that's become the
Yeah,
norm? Like, you just know that people are going to
yeah, yeah,
pitch
yeah, yeah,
you. And that is not the way you build
yeah.
relationships. I mean, think of a networking event. Are you going to walk up to someone at this networking event and immediately, hey, I do financial services. Let me do financial
That's right.
services for your
That's right.
company. You're going to walk up to this person and you're going to be like, oh, have you had a brownie yet? These brownies are really
That's
good.
good. That's a good one.
Immediately, it's a relationship. It's a relationship you've built. Now this person
Yeah.
likes you, and so another thing with LinkedIn that makes it so great, if you've sent someone a DM, then the algorithm knows that you have a relationship with this person. So then it's going to show that person, it's going to show your posts on their
Yeah.
feed. So now you know that you've sent this person a message in the DM. They're busy reading your content. It's building trust gradually. So you just, keep that relationship building over time. And within a week or two, get this person on
Yeah.
a call. And now they trust you, they like you, so they're much more willing to, hear what you have to
Yeah.
say versus just this cold,
Yeah.
this
So
cold
we went into
pitch.
this saying, "Don't pitch slap." We broke down pitch slap. I think you wanted to dial in on understanding who your ICP is. Did you explain all that, or did you want to
ICP.
explain that?
It's a very good thing to explain. And I think this is, ICP is something that because I've been working with this for such a long
Yeah.
time, I just always assume everyone knows what it
Yeah.
is. But actually, like a lot of people are like, what is this
The other
ICP
day, it's
thing you
funny.
keep
The other day, I
speaking about?
answered it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm super clear on my ICP." Then I was like, "Wait a second. Actually, they've kind of got like four heads. So,
Wait a
so
second.
yeah, some people. So even if
Yeah,
you know, it means like ideal client profile or customer profile. I still think a lot of
consumer,
people
yeah.
don't fully have it dialed in.
The more specific you can get about who this person is that's going to buy your product or your service, the faster it's going to reach them. So instead of just saying, oh, I serve agencies, you want to say, I serve agencies between this revenue and this revenue. I serve agencies that it's small
Yeah.
businesses or it is agencies in the US
Yeah.
only. You want to get as specific
No,
as
that
possible
CEO
so that
coach
everything
that
from
said, I help German CEOs who speak English. I was just like, so
that
good. I
is
was like, wow.
But you
Yeah.
see, if you are a
Yeah.
German CEO, if you are a German CEO now, like you'd much rather
That's
go
right.
with
That's right.
her
And
versus
I
someone
guarantee you
else
she's getting
because you
other
know that she has
CEOs too. So I
experience.
think that's another thing is the more specific you can get, like the rest of the people sort of find you. I've experienced this as a professional recruiter for the
Right.
military. I've done a little bit of sales myself too. It's just like dial in on who you're looking for and the rest will walk through the door.
Exactly. It's like even if you look at something like a general, like a surgeon, for example, are you gonna go to the surgeon that, and I don't even think that's a thing, but are you gonna go to the surgeon that does hearts and
Yeah,
brains and lungs
that's
and
right.
this, or are you gonna trust the guy that only works on
Yeah.
hearts?
No, I think it's a fair
Um,
point.
it is this knowing that this professional has done it many times before
Yeah.
you, so they are the person that's going to help you
Yeah.
best. So getting very clear on who you help is step one before you've
Yeah, I
even
also
worked out your offer.
maybe you have coached in this or could coach in it, but I, as I started to remind myself, like this show is for CROs and CFOs, and it's about CROs and CFOs and the people that support them also. I've had to really check the content that I put on LinkedIn. Like I have pictures I used to put up with like me and my wife. It would get a lot of attention. She's very attractive. And
Right.
then I was like, well, maybe it's like sprinkling that in as
Mhm.
a top of funnel, that's fine, but like me just chasing that because it was getting 10x my normal impressions, it wasn't like I had to be honest with myself, that's not really made
Mhm.
for my ICP, and so I need to go back to make sure I'm making
Mhm.
his or her life easier every day with the content, and then showing the show. So I think it keeps you honest too, and it helps you make better decisions as you go through your tactics and strategies.
Because at the end of the day, like every post you're putting out there is a touch point with
Yeah.
your brand. And you want people to know that whenever they see Chad posted, it is a post worth their
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
minutes
Yeah.
to read or, worth their time to
Yeah.
open. Where if you're posting very inconsistently, there it's gonna it's a
Yeah.
trust thing at the end of the day. Like I'm not gonna spend my time pressing on your post, reading the post if yesterday you posted something that wasn't
Right.
serving me. Um, Another way we can look at this is people are inherently a little bit selfish. So they're reading the post for
Yeah.
themselves. Either they want to get entertained by it or they want to learn from it. And if you're putting out
Yeah.
inconsistent content, it's just
I think
it
that
breaks
makes
that trust
business simpler
between.
though, because the quicker you can get honest about the fact that social media is for the consumer, is for them, then the better you'll do with it. Same thing with all your prospects. They're
Yeah.
immediately asking themselves, can she do what she says she does, and will she solve pain points for me? And if like those are yes, then they're
Mhm.
listening, and if they're no, then they don't care about you anymore.
And I think that is the other powerful thing about personal brands, where you'll see that your personality shines through this brand. So if you're a funny guy, then the type of posts you're putting out there is a little bit more humorous. And then in turn, the other humorous people are
Yeah.
finding you, or the people that like humorous content are finding you. Or if you're maybe someone that's a little bit more serious, then you're going to attract other people that are maybe a little bit more serious. So you find your
That's a good point.
community, and I think that is such a great thing
There's
about
somebody I
LinkedIn.
like in
Your
the space
community,
as a support for these CROs and CFOs. She's very broody is the word I would use, and her content establishes that. And I'm like, but I think about that. There's personalities that I would send to her, and then other people that I
yeah,
would send to different people. So yeah, I think it's great just knowing who you are and being who you are. Yeah,
exactly. And being as authentic as possible. I think now more than ever we need
yeah,
that. Even spelling
yeah,
mistakes, like leave them in. If you've made a spelling mistake, it doesn't have to be
yeah.
perfect.
So we went through the profile. They're posting. They got some pillars. We talked about ICP, avoid pitch slaps. Is there anything else that puts a bow on it that like completes the prospect or the quote to cash life cycle? Like this is
Hmm.
how you make money from it. Things that come to mind from here, like your call to
Yes,
action, DMs. So what's that? How
yes,
do we say this is how you do it?
immediately.
Yeah.
Hmm. So when you look at posting, again, it has to be viewed in this lens of it's the funnel and it's busy, generating clients. So it starts as a viewer and you want this viewer to become a
Mm,
client
mm,
gradually. And you have your founder
mm,
funnel where you have top of funnel
mm,
content, middle of funnel content, bottom of funnel
mm.
content. And just to get into this a little bit, your top of funnel content, I like to call it a
Yeah.
net. So you're trying to catch as many people as possible. We're posting maybe stories that are a little bit more relatable, maybe stories that would appeal to a bigger amount of
Mm,
people. And you're going to see like those posts always do very
yeah.
well engagement wise. So you're going to get a lot of likes, you're going to get a lot of comments, but those posts don't necessarily turn into the
Mm,
clients. Then you have middle of funnel content, which is the trust building side of
mm,
things. And that is going to be more your educational
mm,
content, your, stuff that can prove that you have authority in the
mm.
space and that you know what you're talking about. Then you have bottom of funnel content. And this is the piece that so many people forget about because they just know, and it's a fact. If you're posting bottom of funnel content, it's never going to go viral, but that is going to lead to your
Yeah.
clients. So, bottom of funnel
Yeah.
content is your testimonials and it's your case studies, it's your results you've gotten for
Mm,
people. So, when you look at the type of content you should be posting, you should be touching on all three of those. So, people like you, they trust you, but they can also see that you are the person that's getting other people
mm.
results. So now they're sending you inbound messages because they saw that you helped this person achieve what they want to
Mm,
achieve. So you are the person that they should be reaching out
yeah.
to. I was on a call with someone last week and she has 26,000
Uh-huh.
followers, but she hasn't closed a single client from her LinkedIn profile yet. And how that
Yeah.
happened was she has a lot of top of funnel content. So she's telling a lot of stories, but people don't trust her.
Mm,
So they like her, but as soon as she pitches her
mm.
services, it's like, oh, but I've only seen you talk about your dog and your husband and your kid and
Mm,
your that. So I like you as a friend. Like I support your
mm.
content. I'm gonna like it, but I don't trust you to be the person that's doing the service for me.
Yeah, that's
Um,
definitely
it,
that's definitely a beware because I think people catch the bug, and they just start
yeah,
doing everything that's creating all these views. But yeah, you're trying to make money at the end of the day, and you're not really in business until you actually get some deals with it.
exactly. And it's a fine balance. I would say top of funnel, when you're starting out, you can start out with a little bit more top of funnel, but you have to get like a 50-50 balance between your storytelling and your education. And then your bottom of funnel, you don't have to do that
Mm,
often. You can do it once a week, once every 2 weeks, if that works better for
mm.
you. But it's so, so, so important to
If
touch on
somebody
that.
did go overboard on the top of funnel, is there a way to correct it, or are you just kind of like, hey, this is going to take a while?
They, the biggest problem is as your brand grows, it becomes harder and harder because the
Right.
type of ICP
Yeah.
that you're attracting, then if you're posting only top of
Mm.
funnel, you're building up your brand full of
The wrong
supporters that
audience. Yeah.
would never turn into the wrong audience.
Yeah.
So I would say as quick as possible, try to start introducing some educational
Mm.
content that would appeal to the person that you want to start appealing to. So your ICP. I would also I would get myself Sales Nav and I
I'm
would
glad you said
start
that. I wanted to ask, like,
di
so I am paying for the
yeah,
premium, but so you're
yes,
saying across the board there's value in sales nav, right? Which includes
across
premium,
the
which
board.
which I guess is why I say that. Like, if you're gonna invest
Yes.
in the premium, like, why not just get the sales nav? I've been asking myself that for a little bit recently.
Hmm. Yeah, because at the end of the day, like you could wait for your ICP to come to
Mm,
you, which is going to take much
mm,
longer, or you can go find them. And like we touched on briefly a little bit earlier, if you've connected with this person that's your
mm,
ICP and you've sent them a direct message, then the algorithm can see that you have a relationship with this person. So it's going to show this person your content. And then you have them in your funnel because now they've seen your content and you've engaged with them. So it speeds up the process by
Are
so
there any, this
much.
is hyper tactical, but are there like levels to Sales Nav? Like, is there one level you recommend over another? Is it different than like clicking the button to get premium, or do you just go look for Sales Nav and buy it and then it'll like absorb your premium?
It's where the package you choose. When you chose premium, it would be
Okay.
like the next
Okay.
one under
Okay.
premium. And highly recommend, because otherwise what you're doing is you're busy doing manual
Yeah.
outreach where you're like searching for
Right.
people. Where Sales Nav, what it does is you put in your filters. So you can put in area filters, you can put in
That's so
company
good.
size filters, you can put in look like any filter you want really, like title filters, and then it only shows you the profiles of the people that match those descriptions. And then you just go in and you connect with a
That's
bunch
so
of
good.
people.
That's so good.
It's a little
Okay.
cheat.
What else?
Um, Another powerful thing is the DM conversation.
Yes.
Oh, something I do want
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
touch on. Something I do want to touch on is you get two different types of ICPs, and many people don't know
Okay.
this
I've heard
either.
this once. I want to hear your take on it.
Where
Yeah.
have you heard this one?
No,
Have
no,
you
I've
heard
heard
this
it
one?
once from only
So
one
you,
creator, and I thought it was I thought it was pretty brilliant the way she laid it out, and I agree with you. I think people don't realize there are two types of people, and I do recognize both of mine now. I think, depending on what you're about to say. Yeah.
amazing, amazing. So you get two types of ICPs on LinkedIn. You get your business ICP and you get your engagement ICP, where your business ICP is the person you want to sell to, but your engagement ICP is the person that's supporting your
Yeah.
content and the person that's going to push it further. So if you look at someone like a business, your let's say your target audience is scaling agencies. If you look at founders of scaling agencies, maybe they're on LinkedIn for like 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it may be. And a lot of these people also don't support content. So they're just reading it, but then scrolling past. So your post isn't getting pushed. Where someone like a creator, which falls under the engagement ICP, it would be in their interest to engage with your posts because then you're going to engage with their posts. So it's all about building relationships with your engagement ICP. And the powerful thing about that is this engagement ICP, let's say this business
Yeah.
coach, their following consists out of the person that you're targeting as well. So if this person likes your
Yeah.
post, then your post gets
That's
shown to
right.
all of their followers as well. And this engagement ICP is more likely to engage with your post than the business ICP would.
Yes.
So there's a fine balance between, you know, between the
Yeah.
engagement ICP and the business ICP. What I like to do for my clients is we make them a
Yeah.
list of, depending on like the time, but either 10 to 25 business
Yeah.
ICPs and then 10 to 25 engagement ICPs. And you build relationships with like up to 25 people at the
Yeah.
same time, where you're supporting their content and then they support your
Yeah,
content
I
in
actually had a
return.
different, I guess it wouldn't be a different spin, but they would, so the first bucket, who might buy from you, I put those into two separate ICPs. So one is in market, they could actually pay money or be relevant, and the other is aspirational. So they're a broader audience that's consuming your content. However, inadvertently, I was doing what you're calling the engagement ICP. I do see there is a collection of overlapping, I call them support roles to my ICP. So people who help founders,
Yes.
CFOs,
Okay.
CROs, and I engage with their content. And I think more intentionally, though, I started to recognize here are other creators that get lots of activity, and I could join that conversation, but it's not building the right engagement crowd or ICP for me. So I
Mm,
intentionally avoid things like that. So rants about like marketing subjects, or rants about like certain ideology, politics. You don't have to get too specific in it, but I'm just like, okay, that is
Yes.
getting a
Yes,
lot
yes,
of
yes. No,
engagement,
okay.
but it's not. That's not the the hour that I want to spend on LinkedIn today in that circle. So I'm very
Mm.
specific about which other creators, for lack of a better
Who?
word, that I spend a lot of time on. But then when you
Mm.
find them, it's very reciprocal. It's like it's just a great conversation. People,
Because it's like a
yes,
relationship.
people have even
Mm.
come in my
It's
DMs.
like a relationship you're
Sorry to cut you off.
building.
They've come into my DMs and said thanks for the engagement, and I'm just like, oh yeah, man, I love your content. Like, and that's all
Exactly.
it is to me. It's I love your content,
Mm.
and there's no like bargain. In fact, other people have come in my DMs and they try to strike a bargain. I'm just not a fan of it. I know it used to be a thing. There used to be a thing called like
I know.
pods, but and hey man, if you go through and like my
Pods,
stuff, I'm gonna
right?
like your stuff. I'm like, look, dude, if you're in my feed and I've cultivated it, I'm engaging. But otherwise, like,
Then
yeah,
you'd
pack
like
sand.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, super interesting.
Yeah. It's like it's a relationship you're building at the end of the day. So if you are engaging with this person's posts, then they engage with your posts, and then it becomes like uh this mutual
Yes.
liking of each other's and
But it
supporting
gets
of
them
each
to
other's
a broader
content.
audience. Like you're, so I know
It gets them to a
that's
broader
right. I
audience.
know that I'm doing them a favor, especially if they're talking about something
Hmm.
super niche tech. And I know that other people should see. I'll go in there and I'll have those conversations with them because now all of a sudden they might be like a fractional CRO, and then it's getting out to a
Right.
wider audience because LinkedIn sees the loom. Maybe one
Exactly.
point you could touch on before you tell everyone how to find you and how to work with you. Comments on LinkedIn. I've had comments get 25,000 views, and like a normal post view for me might be 2,000. So that blows my mind.
Yes.
That's a really underrated feature of how LinkedIn has this built right now.
Yes. Comments are super powerful, super, super, super powerful. And I mean, I can give a little bit of a tip
Do
about
it.
how to get your comment to the
Do it.
top. Amazing. So, how to get your comment to the top is if you've sent how the algorithm works, again, is if the algorithm can see that you have a relationship with a person, then they know that you want to see their comments, you want to see their posts, you want to see whatever content they're putting out there. So if you've sent someone, and you'll see a lot of people do this in the DMs, they literally just send you, great to be connected. Then you replied back, oh, it's great to be connected to you too. But the algorithm sees that as you've had a conversation. So now, whenever this person posts and you comment, your comment is going to shoot
Oh,
to the
great.
top. And that creator, maybe he has 300 comments under that post. Your comment will be at the top because you're the one that had a conversation in the
Yeah.
DMs. So if you have sent a message to a very big creator with 50,000, 100,000 followers, and they've replied back, then that is super powerful for you because that means every time you're going to comment under their post, they're going to
That's
comment
right.
on it, they're going to comment back on it, reply back on it, and it's going to shoot to the
Yeah.
top. And everyone sees the comments at
Yeah.
the top. Like it just is what it is.
Yes.
As soon as you click on a post, that's what you
Yeah.
see.
I also have a list
Um,
of people. I guess I'm going to start calling it my top comment list, but like, I got in early on one of Benioff's, the CEO of Salesforce, a post that he made, and I just had something relevant to say. I said it, top comment, and it got a lot of views. So now I make it a point to
yes, yes,
train
yes,
my
yes.
algorithm where it's like there's certain people I want to see within minutes of when they post, and I just want something
Hmm.
relevant on there right away. I put that into my tactic box, and I intentionally do it. And yeah, and you know what? Maybe I want you to cover everything you can, but maybe close us out on this because I want people to understand that this is intentional. That's the other thing I would say. It is social media, but I'm doing things for a purpose now. It's never disingenuine. The things that I say are real, but I know why I'm commenting on this person's post and why I'm going to make it relevant. Like
Hmm.
it's just I write this down on lists sometimes. I have certain creators like Benioff from Salesforce that and Daniel Priestley that I want to make sure I get on whenever they post. So what do you tell people around mindset when they're going into this also?
LinkedIn is very much a strategy. And you can be showing up on there every day for hours without a strategy, and you're not getting the results that you want to be getting. Or you can be showing up for 30 minutes a day, commenting on the right people, liking the right things, sending the right messages, and your profile is going to grow a lot faster than someone that's showing up not intentional. Like, for example, what I said about the ICP lists. If you have names of 10, let's use 10. If you have names of 10 business ICPs and 10 engagement ICPs, and you're showing up every day on LinkedIn, just building relationships with these 10 people at a time, you're going to grow a lot faster than someone that's just showing up and engaging with random
Yeah.
posts. Um, because this person that you've built the relationship with, they get used to you seeing your face, seeing your
Yes.
name. You keep like you're at the top all the time versus this other person where you've maybe liked their
Yeah.
post once because you saw it once in two
There's a big
weeks.
creator now, and I
So
and I know I don't actually want anything from her. It's just Nikki recommended
yeah.
her to my feed, and I wanted to support her. And I think that she's used to people wanting things from her, and she'll say now she's like,
Hmm.
"Oh, great to see you here." When I comment, I'm just going through my daily stuff. But so I think it's funny because she's
Yeah.
acknowledging it, but also at the same time I still hear a lot of skepticism in here. I think she's waiting for the pitch to come into the DM. Um, yeah, but yeah, it's intentional.
Um, Yeah, everything is so intentional. I mean, LinkedIn can be a massive time drain, something that no founder, like nobody just has time
Yeah,
to waste every single
yeah,
day. And I speak to people all the time that's spending hours on the
yeah,
platform, not getting the results that they
yeah,
want. So it's very important. And if you are the person that's spending hours on there, um, get yourself a coach, someone
yeah,
that,
and or
knows
take a
the little
break.
tricks.
The last type of post that I hate is the success sympathy. It's not even a humble brag, but it's just like, oh, I got 40,000 followers on
Mm.
LinkedIn, and then I burnt out. I'm like, I don't go to the beach, man. Like, take a break. It's okay to unplug. Yeah, so get yourself a
Yeah,
coach.
I
Agreed.
think to him, I say, like, take a step back and reevaluate,
Yeah, it
like,
was a
what your
girl. I
goals
was trying
are.
not. I was trying not to
Um,
gender slam. It always tends to be the girls, in my opinion, and they're just getting a lot of attention because of the way that they're posing or saying or things that they're wearing. But like, don't then complain about it later, like that you get 100 DMs a day. I don't know. Close the laptop. Shut your phone. Like, just chill out for a
yeah.
little bit. Tell us about coaches. Tell us who you like to work with,
Hmm.
and then what you like to offer them, and then where everyone can find you, and then how you'd love to engage with them.
So the reason I like coaching so much is showing up, like we just discussed, showing up with a plan is 100 times better than showing up without a plan on LinkedIn. Um, and learning from someone that already knows the tricks and how to play the LinkedIn game, it like speeds up the process by 1,000 times. And it's just so much like, why would you want to reinvent the wheel and spend so much time and energy on this thing trying to figure it
Yeah.
out when you can just like spend an hour or
Yeah,
two
I mean,
hours with
I
someone
would
that
call
already
out. You're
knows these
talking to guys
things?
that will pay 150 to $200 a session for golf coaches, tennis
Right.
coaches, jujitsu. It's funny to me that we understand that coaches get you somewhere faster, but then like when it comes to the business side, we tend to neglect them. That part's weird to me.
Mhm. I think what I've found is founders in general, we're a little bit more stubborn. We always feel we can do it better, like we know what we're doing. But a year down the line, you're still going to be saying, "Oh, I know what I'm doing." When within a month, you could have already seen massive
That's right.
difference. So highly recommend a
Yeah.
coach or a management agency if you don't have time to do this
Yeah.
yourself. And that's what we do at my agency. So we have the coaching side of things where we teach you how to build your brand, your own brand. And then we have the management side of things where we take over all of the engagement, your whole profile. We do the ghostwriting for you, the posting for you. We do the engagement strategies for you. We do the actual engagement for you. So I've got professionals that log into your profile and actually find the
That's
leads
great.
for you. Um, we touch on all of
Yeah. So where
those.
can they find you, and what would be the next step for them?
Yes, yes. So you can find me at my LinkedIn profile, Michelle Duplessis. And the next step would be say hi, send me a DM, introduce
That's
yourself.
perfect.
I'm not scary,
Yeah,
I
we're gonna put
promise.
the links down in the show notes too.
And yeah, it's been like I'm always excited to meet some new
Yeah,
people. So if you're looking to grow on LinkedIn and you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed or stuck on your own journey, then come say hi.
100%. Thank you so much, Michelle. I appreciate all the gold you dropped on the audience. Thank you for your time. If you guys
Let's
like this
chat.
episode, I want you to hit like and subscribe for me, and I will see you in the next one.